what many of us actually read in the books. For those who fall in the ages that grew in the times of President Museveni, many of us are witnessing the things that we only read or things that we were told in stories. The abductions, the arbitrary arrests, by the way, in now many cases without trial, or in some cases very bogus delayed trials that you just can't make sense out of the disappearance of people holding different views to those that the powers that be hold. The fear that is being instilled in the population. These are things that we only used to read in books. Today, many of us are seeing it unfolding once again, unfortunately, right before us. And we do ask ourselves questions. One of them is, by the way, who is in charge of this country? That's a question that many of us are asking, and many Ugandans out there are actually asking the same question. I have heard my elders say President Museveni is in charge. That seemed to be what we all knew. But the events, the way they are unfolding, we get back to the same question.
This particular address is on NBS Live. Go ahead, download the Afro Mobile and catch the developments there. Moving on, the induction of members of parliament has entered its second day at Peak Resort Munyonyo, with legislators receiving presentations on the national budgeting process, Uganda Vision 2040 and their oversight role in government programs. Finance Minister Henry Musasizi also pledged to reduce supplementary budget requests during his tenure. We now cross to Munyonyo for the developments there.
Level, but on the grand stage of the plenary, let's focus on national issues. The other aspect, of course, is rising on matters of national importance. It's one of the elements. I want to thank government that of late, matters of national importance have become one of the critical elements that the ministers use to respond to members of parliament. I have seen all of us, whether in the opposition, independents or NRM, of late it's been a critical aspect. So let's use it as one of the arenas. Then there's the third arena, which is the constituency oversight. That is the ground truth. We must conduct field visits and spot checks. Reports may have flaws, but the true test is in your constituency, is in the countryside. You MPs are the eyes and the ears of Parliament on the ground. At the same time, you are the voices of your people. Therefore, for us to be effective as committees, let us not do oversight and scrutiny only in the boardrooms. And when Parliament is able to take you to the field, if the chairperson has a membership of 30 people, we know that you may not achieve 100%, but at least let 25 people show up and board the buses. Sometimes we have a challenge. We are the checkers of those who flout accountability frameworks, but sometimes we are the very ones who receive facilitation to go to the field, and by the time the buses are parked there, you are nowhere to be seen. So you miss a point in going to the field because you've missed a chance to see on site on what is going on in the field. Do unannounced spot checks. Because many a time...
Well, the developments at the induction in Munyonyo will also be in our subsequent bulletins, especially the details. Moving on, the former Ethics and Integrity Minister, Dr. Matembe has returned to the Grade 1 Magistrates Court in Luzira as her lawyers seek bail, citing her deteriorating health and need for urgent medical attention. Charged with sectarianism under the Penal Code Act, her defense team argues that she qualifies for mandatory bail. We also now head to the Luzira Magistrates Court, where developments are currently happening.
I would like to end my submission. By praying that the applicant be granted, as may please this honorable court, bail pending trial on such reasonable conditions as this court may deem fit. I so pray.
I seek for 1 hour to respond. Now the advocates have said so many things. They've even tendered case law. I just need 1 hour to respond.
Details of this story will be coming up in our subsequent bulletins. Health experts have raised concern over the rising child. Uganda Cancer Institute oncologist Dr. Nagib Bugere says Burkitt lymphoma and sarcoma and leukemia are among the most common cancers affecting children. He urged parents to seek prompt medical care, stressing that early detection greatly improves treatment outcomes.
Cancer cases are still rising in children. In Uganda, we get about 3,000 to 5,000 new cancer cases affecting children every year. Unfortunately, these children continue to come late to hospital because their parents think that children don't get cancer, or they think that maybe this is witchcraft. So the commonest cancers among children include cancers like Burkitt's lymphoma. Those usually affect the jaws, and other cancers that affect the tissues like sarcomas, and also blood cancers like leukemias. And these cancers can affect children of all ages, especially the very young ones and the ones between the ages of 10 to 12. However, we've seen that children get cancer, but when you come early to hospital, these cancers are very curable. So what we implore every child, every parent at home, is that when your child gets symptoms that you don't understand, please understand that if it is cancer, cancer can be treated, cancer can be cured. Just bring these children to hospital and we can support them.
When young people or children have such conditions like cancer and they are on treatment for a long time, they can't go to school, no more school days. So I really hope and call upon government to start thinking about such children, for them not to lose their opportunity for education, and to initiate, come up with a program that caters for the educational needs of such young people.
Why did we come up with the theme? We saw it necessary because learners are faced with a number of challenges. They are deprived of some, certain rights and etc. That's why Wakiso Muslim Secondary chose to bring up this theme, which we thought would match with the current situation and whatever learners encountering. Learners are challenged with a number of issues, not only in academics, but even outside the class.
Germany's domestic intelligence agency has warned in a report that there is a growing threat from right-wing and left-wing extremism amid rising foreign interference. Now, joining us with more on that report is DW correspondent Chimponda Chimbelu, who is in Berlin. Chimponda, many thanks for joining us this afternoon. What are the main key takeaways from these findings?
Well, thanks for having me. Well, the number of politically motivated crimes in the country continued to rise last year, and that is according to the 2025 report from the German Federal Domestic Intelligence Agency. And one figure that stood out from that report, which was released on Tuesday, is the one on violent crimes. Last year, they increased by about 10% to just under 3,300. And Germany's Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt and the head of the Federal Domestic Intelligence Agency say that right-wing extremism is the biggest threat to democracy and social cohesion in Germany. Now, the extremist scene is becoming more interconnected and has a bigger readiness to act. And that is also the trend with left-wing extremism as well. Anti-Semitism continues to be also a growing problem and cuts across different types of extremism, including, of course, Islamism, which remains a threat in Germany. Now, the report also showed that there was a rise in foreign activities in Germany last year.
Well, Chiponda, let's get into which countries are particularly targeting Germany and how are they doing it?
It is Russia, China, and Iran, and their activities are focused on industrial espionage and intimidating nationals from their countries who now live here in Germany. Now, it is Russia that represents the biggest foreign threat when it comes to some of these activities. During the press conference, the Interior Minister cited a case involving 3 men who have been convicted of espionage. Allegedly, Russia's intelligence services asked them to spy on the German rail system and also the country's infrastructure and plan potential attacks. Now, according to the German intelligence report, Russia has been recruiting more so-called disposable agents. Now, these are individuals who are recruited and directed to carry out short-term missions via social media and messaging apps, for instance.
Well, certainly my last question would be, how exactly will Germany be responding to these kind of threats?
The Interior Minister is planning to propose new legislation to counter the security threats on multiple fronts. Now, the new law would allow authorities more surveillance of digital communications, and they would also get to store this information for a longer time. Now, this is legislation that would also lead to more collaboration and data sharing between the Federal Intelligence Agency and security authorities in Germany's 16 federal states. Now, all of this, of course, comes at a time when the German government is actually trying to reduce spending. So there is the hope actually now is that there won't be any spending cuts when it comes to intelligence and security. And that is because more resources, of course, could be needed to counter what are increasingly complex security threats, both here in Germany and also from abroad.
Chimponda Chimberu joining us from DW all the way in Berlin. We are now going to take a short break. NBS Live at 1 returns shortly with many more stories.
Bana Uganda twaniriza Joseph Ngoma mu concert ye sose kulugaga cricket ovo nga kominaru mu July 2026 tickets za mitwale 2 emitwale 5 atemeze y'abantu 8 ya milioni 3 tickets ojatisanga ku caritickets.com Friends Supermarket ne ku Hotel Triangle kwa note msamvu mukaga 558 msamvu 225 chino chetu bade tulinda Joseph Ngoma mwana mulenzo muwandisi Vocal Powerhouse arudenga konko nendongo ekute ku mitima j'abana Uganda Uganda gendongo yenyuma eyimusa ekuwe subi hagikuye mu style y'omulembe kati ategese kitabangawo twagala cricket ovo ejjule ku mulundi guno gwokka babulaza mutwaleko ba sister out bitegekeddwa charism n'ebiwagirwa.
I'm called Awidi Isabella. I'm studying from Villa Maria School of Nursing. I've won a school fees with the MTN Momo. This school fees you win for a full year, which I'm very happy for it. I thank MTN Momo for helping me in paying my school fees.
We've paid all the fees for the year.
Thank you very much, because on Wednesday, the principal told me, look for my man and bring my man. I told her, me, I don't have man, and you have to wait until I get the money. But when I left our office, at 3, they called me that you have won the money from Momo. I said, how does it happen?
As long as you pay school fees using Momo, you stand a chance to win school fees for a year. Dial *165 *80# to win school fees for a year and more.
I am called Ajao Salima. I am a social worker by profession. Before getting the phone, because yes, I had this small phone, how would I get the platforms and what? So bringing that phone alone was big help. And then adding on the training after receiving the phone even made now life easier. I learned how to use WhatsApp, make video calls, perfect myself on internet skills, business on internet. There was a challenge of networking. But after showing me how to use the Facebook, the WhatsApp, now at least even if I borrow the phone, I can use. I even got a chance to join some platforms that helped me to get maybe job adverts when they are there.
Better study tips. Choose a unique pin. Avoid using common and easy to guess numbers like your birthday, phone number, or consecutive numbers. Also, do not use the same pin for multiple accounts. In partnership with Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
Flavor Mukachupa. Taste our refreshing, juicy flavors in our 250 ml and 400 ml packs. Splash Kachupa. Flavor Mukachupa. Flavor on the go.
Kabalega Petro-Based Industrial Park. Imagine your business at the heart of East Africa's next industrial revolution. Welcome to Kabalega Petro-Based Industrial Park, Uganda's eco-industrial hub spanning over 7,300 acres in Hoima, home to the Uganda Refinery, the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, and Kabalega International Airport. KIP places investors at the center of Uganda's energy transformation. KIP presents investment opportunities in petrochemicals, manufacturing, agro-processing, logistics, warehousing, real estate, commercial, hospitality, ICT, and industrial services. Join us for the official launch on 7th July 2026, live on NBS TV and streamed on YouTube and social media starting at 8 a.m. secure your place in Uganda's industrial future. Mukaije, Karibu, Uganda welcomes you. Kabalega Petro-Based Industrial Park, a project by the Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC.
You are known way differently. Who knows you better than the Father himself? Hallelujah. So what he knows of you, you shall be known also as he knows of you. There shall be no contradictions henceforth. Hallelujah. No contradictions whatsoever. If he says you're the head, because he knows you as that, you're the head.
Watch The Power of Prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
Welcome back. You are watching NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. Private sector leaders from the Bugisu sub-region have gathered in Mbala City for a post-budget dialogue to examine the financial year 2026-2027 national budget. Organized by the Private Sector Foundation, the meeting focuses on opportunities for business growth, investment and private sector development under the government's private sector-led economic transformation agenda. We are joined by Gerard Matembo, who joins us from the Elgon region. Let's get into the conversation. A very good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Just what is top priority for this discussion, Gerard?
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, our viewers. The top priority is to make sure that the people of this region actually understand what the budget is about and what opportunities are there in. For more details, I have one of the representatives from the Private Sector Foundation, and that is Colin Zagaba, the Sector Coordinator. You're welcome on NBS Live at 1. We would like to know, we have been having these kind of engagements. This is not the first time I have attended one. And we want to know, what have you achieved so far in the number of years you've been holding these kind of engagements?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. By the number of time I've been here, I think this is our third time. We realize that I've seen some changes in action when it comes to government. I remember when we were here earlier, I was talking to some people that are saying that now at least they have interactions with URA, they have interaction with UNBS. At least even the government responding from URSB, they feel like what our thinking of coming here has always impacted them, as the private sector and SMEs in this region. So we hope that whatever we're going to take them to government continues to listen. But though it has been there are some challenges which have been coming up. For example, there were cited issues dealing with NEMA. They're saying that when NEMA come, when you want to go to NBS to get some certification, they are telling you no, have first to go to NEMA. But NEMA is maybe thin on ground in the region. That's what they're trying to tell us. And also they're telling us maybe issues of access to capital, still a challenge. No matter how many times I've come here with Bank of Uganda, trying to tell people access, there's money in Bank of Uganda, with SBF, there is access to credit facility. They say this money agricultural credit facility is not reaching them at the level they want to. There's lack of, they say there's lack of information, but I've tried to bring the information. We hope that this information I've brought this time round, it will be enough for them not to grant access this funding.
Thank you very much, Agaba. Now, Tracy and our viewers, in our subsequent bulletins, there's something very revealing about this meeting, that as the government is looking to agro-industrialization as one of the drivers of the economy, and the enablers have been put in place through Bank of Uganda, talk about the Small Business Fund, Recovery Fund, talk about the Agriculture Credit Facility, like Agaba has said, the statistics are very disturbing. That in the year 2025, Sironko district in Bugisu sub-region, Sironko district had only one person benefiting from the agriculture credit facility. Manafa district had no one claiming the agriculture credit facility. And in Mbale city and the district, 71 people were able to get that. And when it comes to the small business recovery, only 9 people benefited from this fund in the past financial year. Now, for more details about why and where the problem could be, watch our subsequent bulletins. Over to you at the Political Command Center.
Many thanks, Gerard Matembo, for joining us this afternoon. The Minister for Local Government is expected in Mubende district to mediate a dispute between municipal and district leaders over enforcement of town order regulations. The role centers on control of the street vendors, taxi stages and the business operations in the central business area. Municipal authorities accuse the district chairperson of interfering, while he cites the lack of consultation and the livelihood concerns. We're joined by Fred Sewaje in Mubende, who shares with us details of the developments that are currently happening. Fred.
Gwe magistrate yennyini alinaffe okusalawo ekituufu projekiti egyolaba yammwe yaffe ya gavumenti chairman sebani abatabula Mubende batubuulire atuwulira kaakati ogenza okutta wano nga kwayiwe waliwo abeekalakaasa tokiwulirangako mukabantu beekalakaasa naye nga projekiti ya gavumenti eyo kakati kwokisalirawo olw'ensonga singa tokisalirwo
We will be getting more insights on that story in just a bit, but that particular development anchors on also the latest leadership changes in the Ministry of Local Government. The minister currently is Balambargahara and is currently in Mubende to address these particular challenges. Will it be resolved? That entirely is something that we await to see, but we want to head back to Fred Sewaje and find out what exactly needs to be done for this to be resolved. Fred Sewaje.
Thank you very much. Now, it's immediate resolve disputes municipality leadership and the Mubende district following the implementation of the order in Mubende. We have been using our bulletins. Chairperson was in patrolling with the municipality leadership on how to implement modern loading and unloading procedures by starting to operate and Mubende town. And the current the minister is here in Mubende and to resolve disputes because there has been complaints by street vendors that they were ordered to leave the streets and go to the designated.
A bit of technical challenges there, but details of that story will be coming up in our subsequent bulletins. Health experts in Tungamo district have warned against relying on traditional remedies for medical conditions that are often misinterpreted as cultural or spiritual ailments. They say the practice delays proper treatment, worsens illnesses, and contributes to preventable deaths. The experts urge families to seek prompt diagnosis and treatment at health facilities whenever symptoms appear.
Health experts in Ntungamo say many childhood illnesses are still being wrongly attributed to cultural causes, prompting families to seek traditional remedies instead of medical care. Conditions such as swollen gums, diarrhea, pneumonia, and dehydration are often misdiagnosed, exposing children to harmful procedures that can worsen their condition and increase the risk of infection.
False tooth extraction, milk extraction, and others, for us, we discourage because those children will be having other medical conditions, and then the perception by the community is false tooth or milk extraction, but it's not true. So in most cases, you'll find someone they are suspecting to have false tooth, they are severely dehydrated because of any other medical condition.
Doctors also warn against practices that involve making cuts on a child's chest to treat persistent cough, fever, or breathing difficulties. They say these symptoms are commonly caused by pneumonia and should be treated at health facilities, noting that such procedures can lead to severe infections, tetanus, sepsis, and even death.
I've seen several of these cases in the hospitals. People come with, children come, they have already cut them, the whole chest is already cut. I think they have oburo. As you cut the whole chest, You never know what you have used. What you have used is not safe. Sepsis sets in.
Meat extraction, they always have severe pneumonia, but for them it is interpreted as merit uburu.
Health workers further caution against relying on herbal remedies to treat common conditions such as tonsillitis, emphasizing that timely diagnosis and treatment at health facilities are safer and more effective than unregulated traditional interventions.
If a child gets an issue, let them come to us. We ascertain a problem or diagnosis, we manage it accordingly.
Medical experts have also warned pregnant women against excessive use of unregulated herbal medicines. They say some herbs can trigger severe complications, including excessive uterine contractions, heavy bleeding, uterine rupture, and the need for emergency surgery.
Those herbal medicines, they bring strong contractions. Those strong contractions, most especially when they come when the mother is not yet free, when it is not yet time for pushing the baby, they are so dangerous.
President Museveni has revealed that Uganda's agricultural sector registered a growth of 6.7% in the 2025-2026 financial year, up from an average of 4.2% over the last decade. The president attributes this improvement to government wealth creation interventions such as Operation Wealth Creation, the Parish Development Model and Emyoga, which are aimed at transitioning at least 30% of the households from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture.
To NBS.
The president's message was delivered by Prime Minister Robin Anabanja during the official opening of the 32nd Source of the Nile Agriculture Show in Jinja City.
Officially launched the Operation Wealth Creation Village.
Anabanja toured various exhibition stalls where both local and international exhibitors are showcasing innovations in agribusiness, particularly in mechanized agriculture and post-harvest handling. In his speech, Museveni emphasized that agriculture remains the backbone of Uganda's economic growth, noting that government continues to prioritize the sector through strategic investments and farmer support programs. He says improved sector performance is a direct result of sustained wealth creation campaigns, targeting increased productivity and value addition.
Agriculture sector grew by 6.7% this financial year, as compared to the average of 4.2 over the last 10 years. This growth is on account of the government interventions through the wealth creation campaigns, such as Operation Wealth Creation, PDM, Emyoga, etc.
This trade show, therefore, is more than an exhibition. It is a national platform for collaboration, learning, and growth. It demonstrates our commitment to agriculture transformation, industrialization, and wealth creation, while showcasing the results of government program and policies.
The 10-day agriculture show has attracted a wide range of exhibitors displaying advanced farming inputs, improved seed varieties, and modern post-harvest equipment. Companies such as Metaplant and Equipment are showcasing tractors and other mechanized farming solutions aimed at increasing efficiency in agriculture production.
We have implements from Field King and from Nardi. These are made in India, Nardi is made in Italy. These tractors and these implements together are helping Ugandans to industrialize and to mechanize their agriculture. To complement this, we have a banking partnership with DFCU and with Equity Bank. These are game changers for some of our Ugandan farmers, allowing people who've never dreamed of mechanizing their farm to purchase their first tractor.
The annual event continues to serve as a key platform for farmers, innovators, and policymakers to exchange knowledge and promote modern agricultural practices.
As we bring this to an end, a reminder, if you send money to family and friends in Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda or Tanzania, SendWave Wallet is for you. Hold and send USDC digital dollars, a cash out in Ugandan shillings anytime and enjoy fee-free transfers between SendWave Wallet users in over 110 countries. Download the app, fund your wallet with $10 US. Use the promo code NEXT and get $5 on us. Please note that SendWave makes money on the exchange rate and terms and conditions apply. As we bring the bulletin to an end, a reminder of the many interesting programs that are currently happening, including Music Taxi that is currently on Sanyuka and the Chill Out on Next Radio. Right after this, we'll also be getting into the other interesting events. A reminder, NBS Live has the UPC presser. Go ahead, download the Afro Mobile so you get all of these developments in real time, but also you get the luxury of playing it whenever you want at your convenience. Right here on NBS Television, we'll also be getting into a lunchtime sport with Fifi Pinky and Stewart. My name is Tracy Kansime. Have a good afternoon.
NBS. Always.
Katulize tulabe abani bagenda okubanga kono bagenda okubanga ate bamwanjulira oba bagenda okubanga yanjulira eri bakamabe so ndowaza mu konti UPDF omutendesi gwalese 1 mulungi asokubanga abakwayiziko okubanga bateeka bogeraganya abatendesi abadde bajabirako emabegako naye ekyajjawo bali kikoleddwako kubanga abasaminga ba Samson Kigozi mapesa malungi but UPDF eina amanya gasigaza abasambi abo
omanyi UPDF nalingi buulirizaako nnyo. Whereas we think into CDF ngayo walaba dadi wange General Edward Katumba wamala right now bwati afande muhozi Kaine Rugaba twaiklose anti olumu bebalina okubeera ba patron by default ne olw'amateeka n'ebigenda maaso olumu bateekawo omuntu n'abanga ekyakikola otherwise ku bukambwe bwe tulaba ku Twitter n'ebirala senga abeerawo omuntu gobawo omulimu ng'ogwa CEO n'aguzanyiramu oyo aba asobola okugenda mu kaduukulu mu bwangu obw'ekitalo ensonga ne zibaako engeri gye zigenda naye nga amidst that banaffe aba NBS TV the political command center tubakulisaayo mu mawulire ne Tracy Kansiime we mujjidde ng'ate tuli kutalagga wano mawulire ga Uganda agalabika nti gakuta abantu omubabiri era tubale twogedde nnyo ku Hussein Mbalangu n'okulaba emikisa gye ku UPDF kasita yava ku NEC yagenda mu URA kasita avudde ku URA kikulaga nti kocha omulungi tabulwa maka era we twogera mu kaseera kano kakati musajja musaale nnyo wali e Bombo Barracks Grounds agenda kubanga ali ku tiimu ebaddeko abasajja ng'omugenzi Kajoba n'abalala kojja wange mukulu Kiwanuka abaddeko okwo kakati Hussein Mbalangu UPDF tageti yabwe yakutwala kikopo simanyi tageti yabwe yakusigala mu liigi simanyi because amatiimu gano naddala ku tiimu z'ebito ku bitongole ebanga CSR n'abadde John Ruben Luyombo wanangamba nti tiimu ya URA ekigiyamba okusigalawo kiri eki it is the only positive thing about us paying taxes bakola research ne bagamba bannayuganda baagala ki ku URA bannayuganda tebaagala kusasula misolo era oli we bamukanya naye ngaga nti baagala nnyo omupiira yensonga lwaki eyinza okubanga ekyaliwo away from Hussein Mbalangu katwogereko ate ku Abe boogere kikomeko naye yasazeewo nti tajja kuva ku luguudo lwe ayagala Jinja Road era kasita yabuuse Najjembe teyazze Namawojjolo kufuna nkoko yasigadde awo Lugazi mwannyina ze nanyini Lugazi FC bamuyita Kawulu essaawa zino ali mu America yali e Philadelphia yali mu Atlanta jo yekubisiza ekifaananyi ng'alaba mipiira naye eri gyali eno emirimu yagireka gitambula era wetwogerera awavudde Simon Peter Mugerwa asazeewo amusikize Abe boogere kikomeko. Abe obuzibu bwe ku ttiimu ya Bull FC bagamba baalimu olumu nga teyeenyigira nnyo omusambi simanyi afiiriddwa nga ye ayagala mulimu kola mulimu so abasambi abalina ebizibu naga kocha oyo alabika nno tagenda kufa ku bizibu byaffe era bwatyo n'agenda ze didi obaddewo for some good time Lugazi FC era nayo sisuubira nti mwanyinaza abatuma kikopo wabula abatuma maintenance n'okulaba nga ku luno they don't go and linger around relegation zone. Abe bwogere kikomeko anaakolera ttiimu yaffe ey'omu kabira k'erugazi anti abasezi ffenna tukuŋŋaaniraawo.
Omanyi ttiimu zingazi Lugazi zalibadde zikopa amaklabu zingaga Brighton and Hove Albion mu ggwanga erya Bungereza. Lwaki ndese ekifaananyi ekyo nti walina okubawo ttiimu zino nga weeziri ng'ekigendwa kyazo kiyinzika okuba si kyakola liigi y'eggwanga eya Uganda naye gayinzika okubeera agamu ku ago amaclubs agasobola okuba agafuna akasente mu kutunda abasambi. Ettiimu nga Lugazi ekigendwa ekisooka kyakusigala mu liigi y'eggwanga Uganda ey'oku ntiko. Ekyandibadde ekyokubiri kyagezaako okuba nga bayingiza akasente mu kuggyawo amapeesa amapya g'abasabariziko okuba nga batundiddwa okugenda ku maclubs amalala. Ankwadde nti wano mu ggwanga Uganda transfers wezibadde zijja zikolebwa batwatera nnyo okuba nga bazoogera nnyo ku bantu kuzibawa basobola okuba nga ate bazitegeera because abasambi nga Bajuma agolokipa Mutebi kati yali ku ttiimu eya NEC yali ku ttiimu ya Lugazi so ndowoozaako nti oba oliawo buli kimu kiyinzika okuba nga ate kigenda mu maaso mu mbeera esingadde okubeera ennungi naye bw'otunuulira ttiimu ya Lugazi mutendesi Abe Kikomeko abadde omu ku batendesi ababadde balabisa obulungi naye ku ttiimu esabadde pressure ebbanga lyamaze ku ttiimu ya Bull FC ne performance yena ku ttiimu ya Busoga United byawukanamuko because obeera ku club ya Busoga United yali omu ku abo abatendesi abaali abazibu okuba omupiira era nga tugamba nti wayongera okuba nga aweebwa omukisa ayinzika okuba nga abeera ne future ennungi eri okuyinzika okubeera obutendesi obuyinzika okuba nga bubeerawoko bwe yagenda ku ttiimu eyinzika okuba n'ebisaanizo byonna ebyetagisibwa okuba nga ttiimu eperforming obulungi obola tebitambudde bulungi newankubadde nti wasangayo ebintu by'okusika omuguwa wanna wali naye kyalina okuba nga asobola ku Lugazi kwe kuzimba backroom staff ye nga weyo omutendesi ebisinzika okuba nga biremesa abatendesi baffe wano mu Uganda Mama Sky n'abatulaba nti wekanga tetuyina abatendesi balina backbone y'abatendesi bane batambula nabo akadde kano Abe Kikomeko yali ku ttiimu ya Busoga United ng'akola n'abatendesi banjawulo nnyo najja club ya Bull base club ya Bull abaddewo n'abatendesi abalala badde banjawulo nnyo bumbe yasangawo n'abalala basobola nga agenda abaali abatono nnyo akadde kanaze ku ttiimu ya Lugazi agenda kola kochi Basose Muyaba ayinza okuba omutendesi oyo omutuufu gwayinza okuba nga bakwasaganya mu nsonga y'okuba nga batambuzaamu n'ensonga zaabwe so ndowoozamu konti oba oliawo kiyinza okubeera ekituufu eri Lugazi kuba Abe y'omu ku batendesi abali n'amaclubs gano ag'ewansi oba agatena pressure y'amaanyi nateekawo performance badde ey'amaanyi ennyo because waliwo Busoga beeranga mu liigi ng'esigala mu liigi olwokuba nti gabayanga manyi ga mutendesi Abe Kikomeko agenda kujja n'ebintu ebyenjalo kuba awaaka abaana bato omukisa ba Elvis Ngonde ba Isaac Wayigona tubalabyekoko ng'abayita wansi w'omutendesi osobanga atabakwata koko Basose Muyaba agenda omumyuka naye mutendesi abadde mu masaza omwaka okuvuddemu kawe mabega y'omu ku batendesi abali n'abaana abato nga mujjuka ng'ayita ttiimu ya NEC mu liigi y'eggwanga Uganda ey'oku ntiko ng'alina skills andowoozamuko nti batendesi batuufu eri abaana abato abayinza okuba nga bawa omukisa okweteekateeka obulungi so Lugazi bwe bateze kuvuganya mu kifo omunana ebisooka erina okwewa tageti y'okutunda abasambi mu Bulaaya oba mu Uganda wano ku ttiimu enkulu
basambi mu Bulaaya koocha omulungi bamulabira ku maanyi gazze nago we twabadde tukuwa kintu jjo yayogedde integrity professionalism kyemmanyi abalabi ba NBS TV ne NBS Sport bali yagadde okuwulira mukulu Abe boogere Kikomeko kiki yayogedde but si yeyeka Hussein Mbalangu biki byasuubiza bannamagye nga yakatuuka katubawulirize then we'll come back with more of your sports.
eziwerako nasamba ku mupiira siri mupya nnyo mu mupiira era siri mupya nnyo mupiira gwa Uganda abantu abasinga bantegeera asinga balina n'amanyi agamu geba nga Slaughterhouse nga Men ndi musajja omumalivu mu bintu byenkola ndi musajja ayagala okuwangula ndi musajja ayagala ebituufu era ndi musajja omukozi mu mbeera yonna ebaawo ndi omusajja omumalirivu ayagaliza era ayagala okulaba nti ekintu kye mba nkutteko kyeyongerako. Alhamdulillah nzikiririza mu mupiira ngiyita high intensity game nzikiriza mu mupiira ogwo ogwanguwa ogudduka ogulimu byonna nze bw'olaba engeri style yange oba ekika ky'omupiira gwange kiba kirimu byonna obusegeera omupiira ogudduka ogw'okuweereza ogw'okusala omupiira omujjuvu total football naye nga njagala nnyo high intensity pressing game philosophy yange manyi omupiira ogwo ogudduka nga tunyiga tulina tubikola muti mu bwangu ate era tubikolera ku speed naye nga nnyinza okiwumbawumba nti omupiira total football ebamu byonna bamu kudduka mbakuweereza mbamu naye nga nnyumirwa nnyo omupiira ogwo ogudduka ogwangu ogwo mupiira era neetaaga nnyo abantu abakolera awamu. Alhamdulillah, kino kibaliza Allah nti abantu banjagala, abantu bwoyita olaba nga erinnya mbalangu mbawo obubaka buno tinga nawe banjagala nange mbaagala nnyo era nsaba Allah abeere nga abakuumira nga balamu era abasasulamu ekisinga obulungi. Kati nkowoola abawagizi bonna aba UPDF mujje twagire ttiimu yaffe eno UPDF yaffe ffenna.
To talk about it, talk against it. That is the medium way. And the third way is to hate it in your hand, in your heart. If you can use the hand, use the hand. If you can use the mouth, use the mouth. If you cannot use those, even hating it is a means of fighting it. I can recite for you that hadith in Arabic. It says, "Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi, fa in lam yastati' fa bilisanihi, fa in lam yastati' fa biqalbihi."
Let me just take two more.
Thank you. My name is Edward Nino. I work for Uganda Radio Network. One of the things that was said here is that you're aware, you know what is happening, and probably you considering maybe are you considering taking Wozi to court? What could actually be planned for the opposition, the government in waiting, on the issues of Mhosi? He's tweeting, and some of the tweets that he's done over time are actually extending beyond Ugandan borders. For example, he's threatened the Turkish, and I said that he has actually given them ultimatum of 30 days, which is expiring on the 8th, and he told them to pay Uganda compensation of $1 billion US. We called it security dividends or something like that. What is your position on that? And the last one is that in most of the things that you're reacting to, the comments that come from was on Twitter, and Twitter or X, we used to Twitter, and some of them have not been responded to by government officially, but we see them taking effect. You as opposition, do you see X as one of the official communication channels from the government? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My name is George Bukenya Zimanguizo. I work with Daily Mail Uganda Online. The first one is a rejoinder to my colleagues from Radio Network. Apart from coming to the news or to the media, because we have had several engagements, at least 3 or 4, with the media as political parties. What other routes or avenues are you taking to see that you help to avert the awkward situation that is occurring in Uganda? 2, Madam Salam Musumba, you talked of engaging the ruling party. What exactly do you want to discuss with the ruling party? Because on several occasions you have tried to engage them, but they have remained adamant. And some of my colleagues want also you to respond on that in Uganda. Thank you.
What I can say confidently, there is no legal method which is going to be off the table. Anything which is permissible by law, we are going to engage. But we are also ready to go and push the boundaries a bit further. But we're going to be
in the first place, as it was with negotiations with the two of them twice, that their country was bombed. And the other thing is that Woodcock has shown himself to be absolutely incompetent when it comes to the technical aspects of the nuclear question. He almost triggered the war when he actually did trigger the war when he came back in February and said some things that actually weren't true. He had to be corrected by the Qataris, the intermediaries, because he said some things that were not true, which made it appear as if the Iranians were laughing at us. Of course, understanding what that would do to his boss. I guess it's not his boss because he doesn't have a position in the government. He's just some real estate guy who's hanging out and going over to these places, probably making a few deals on the side. But that's a long way of saying, Peter, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand the role of J.D. Vance in this. I don't understand the role of Marco Rubio. None of it makes any sense. As someone who's been, following U.S. diplomacy since the Reagan era, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, Layla, but it is quite obvious, irrespective of what the dynamic is of these surrounding these two gentlemen. Israel is showing itself to be a wedge in all of this, and this is a part of Israeli statecraft, and the Americans seem hopeless in dealing with it.
Well, it's interesting. Again, if you think of it as a hedging strategy, what you're seeing is amongst the potential successors to Donald Trump, whose health is increasingly in question every single day. You see the hedging of the different possibilities with J.D. Vance spearheading the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding or Misunderstanding, as people asked, where is the Department of State in all this? And lo and behold, if memory serves, Marco Rubio showed up at the signing of the Lebanese-Israeli separate agreement, which clearly undermined, if not actually sabotaged, the Memorandum of Misunderstanding. So if you look at it from the perspective of J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio's boss, you're playing both sides. You are hedging, you are prolonging the state of limbo, which, as we noted before, time is on Iran's side, and yet that same time of kicking the can down the road is a comfortable place that American diplomacy has been accustomed to being in. Endless processes, endless negotiations, which themselves constitute something between war and peace and diplomacy. So again, where was Marco Rubio on the MOU? Nowhere in sight.
Nowhere in sight.
He's there on the signing of the very compromising treaty between what you might think of as Vichy Lebanon and Israel.
Yep, well, I like that. I'm going to use that in the future. I like that a lot. Vichy, Lebanon. Julia, I mean, you're in Malaysia. I mean, there's talk of how some ships are leaving going through the Strait of Hormuz, but very few people want to talk about there are no ships going in to pick up oil. So this illusion of the oil price being stabilized is not really there. If no one's going there to pick up oil, then we're going to see this spiral of the oil price, and again, and very, very soon. Julia.
Yeah, there is such a possibility. And there are many effects of this disruption caused by the blockade, which already has been said it's even more grave than the 1973 disruption after the Yom Kippur War. And these disruptions concern not only oil and gas supplies, which we are going to feel the effects for a long time. And the experts are already saying that the prices also will not stabilize for months and months to come. There are also other factors which are affecting oil and gas market. Besides, there are other products, like, for example, I don't think we've felt effect of lack of fertilizer supplies yet because the crops were not planted. So that's something that we are going to see only next year, probably, when we will not have that food on our tables or in our fridges to get it out and to cook. So the disruptive effect, I think, still remains to be seen of what's going to happen. Malaysia did a little bit better than its neighbors in ASEAN because, well, Malaysia is an oil exporter, but the Philippines, Indonesia, they faced quite an undersupply of fuel, and many people were even forced to work from home.
Yeah, and there's no reason to believe that it's going to get any better. On that note, I'm going to jump in here. We're going to go to a short break, and after that short break, we'll continue our discussion on deadlock. Stay with RT.
In the warm spring of 1945, it felt as though world peace had come for good.
They are determined to be united with each other and with all peace-loving nations, so that the ideal of lasting peace will become a reality.
I think the Cold War began with the death of Roosevelt, and Churchill was a Cold War warrior.
Churchill, der hatte die Idee, Russland mit Hilfe der deutschen Kriegsgefangenen, das waren 100.000 Mann, nach dem Motto:
From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent.
Operation Unthinkable and Pincer and Broiler and Bushwhacker and Drop Shot, I mean, all of these were essentially plans to directly attack and destroy the Soviet Union.
Why did the peace so many had longed for give way to a new, protracted war? When exactly did the post-war world take a fateful turn?
By the middle of the 20th century, the Portuguese colonial empire was in an acute crisis. A particularly tense situation had developed in Mozambique. The people of this country were put in a humiliating position. Income inequality, rampant illiteracy, disrespect by the Portuguese for the local traditions led to mass unrest. In 1964, the Liberation Front of Mozambique, Frelimo, began its armed struggle for freedom. The regular army was not easy to resist, but the guerrillas inflicted considerable damage on the invaders' troops. The fighters against the colonial regime were supported by the Soviet Union and China, whereas the United States and Great Britain took the side of the invaders. The Portuguese responded to the guerrillas' attacks with cruel counterinsurgency. However, Frelimo's 10-year courageous struggle was a success. After the overthrow of the fascist regime in Portugal in 1974, the new authorities surrendered. A year later, Lisbon fully recognized the independence of Mozambique. But the victory had been gained at a high price. During the war, Mozambique had lost tens of thousands of its sons and daughters.
Welcome back to Crosstalk, where all things are considered. I'm Peter Lavelle. To remind you, we're discussing deadlock. Okay, let's go back to Daniel in Lake Jackson. You said it in the very first part of the program, this Council of Experts in Iran, warning the negotiators not to deviate from what the Supreme Leader has agreed to. And we all know that the Supreme Leader was not overwhelmed with the 14 points, but he said go with it. And now it's being made clear that compromise is not going to be part of their vocabulary. They have the cards, they have their winnings on the table, and they're going to proceed because they have won this conflict. They have won a strategic victory. Military victory, you can discuss that in another way, but a strategic one. And that's their hardening position here. Do you think the Trump administration realizes this?
I don't know that they do.